Hello, my name is Kendra Jones and I work in the Youth Services Department of the Kingsport Public Library. Well, welcome to our Scary Sweets. And today I'm going to show you how to make a cupcake and turn it into a tombstone. So let me show you your ingredients. The first one you need is cupcake mix. It's kind of important. So we're going to go with funfetti mix. Make it just a little bit extra special. Now be sure to follow the ingredients on the back of your cupcake mix. It could be different than the ones I'm showing you today, and that's okay. But we will of course need some oil. We're going to need some water that I already have pre-measured. We need eggs for our cupcakes. And something different, I'll tell you in a minute why. Some vanilla. And then to put on top of the cupcakes, our favorite cookie, Oreos. We'll find out later how to use those. And of course you're going to need your cupcake tins. And I already have mine pre-lined to save a little time because that takes a long time. So I think we have everything we need. So let's get started cooking. Alright, we have our mixing bowl ready. So the first thing I like to do is add my cupcake mix. So we're just going to dump it in there. I went ahead and cut my bag because I'm a messy person and I didn't want to make a mess all over the place. And then we're going to follow our box, which calls for 1 cup of water. It also calls for a half a cup of oil. So I always like to do my water first, because if you don't, it will mess up with how things measure out in your cup. Alright, there is our oil. And this one is 3 eggs. Now you might be a better egg cracker than me, because I tend to make a mess when I do it. But I always say the food isn't good unless you make a mess while you're making it. So we got our 2 eggs and 1 more. And most cupcake mixes, this is all it calls for. But I like to add some vanilla. I like to add a tablespoon of vanilla because it will make your cupcakes super moist and make them taste like they have a whole lot more ingredients than what we're putting in. Alright, that is all our ingredients. So I'm going to take it over to the mixer and let it mix for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. Alright, it's time to mix our cupcakes. Now you can do this with a hand mixer or you can use a stand-up mixer like this. I like to start out really slow right at the beginning to let everything get mixed up good together. And then I'll usually kick it into high speed. While that's mixing, you can line your cupcake liners if you haven't already, and you also need to grab a 1/4 cup measuring spoon. I'll show you why in just a minute. So it looks like it's pretty mixed up, but one thing I like to do is stop it and scrape the bottom. Make sure you got all that. Which it looked, nope, there was a big chunk that hadn't got mixed up yet. So we're going to just give it another spin. Just a couple of seconds. It should be good. And you'll be able to tell by looking if you need to mix it longer. So we're going to scrape all that goodness off there because I don't want to lose any of it. That looks pretty good. And if it drips after I move my bowl, it's okay. That's what we've got napkins for. Now, I like to measure my cupcakes a little different. I like to put a 1/4 cup into each liner. It makes your cupcakes a little bit bigger than typical. So if you don't like your cupcakes that full, then just fill it up about halfway. It all depends on what you like. And this will make more than what we have here. And that's okay. That just means after this batch is done, you can make another one. And you will have to tell me what kind of cupcakes you like the best. If you like chocolate, if you like funfetti, strawberry. My favorite is lemon, with lemon icing. Alright, so we're about halfway through there. And if you drop some of the batter on top of your tins, it's okay. It's better if you have a non-stick tin because then it will literally just wash off with water. But if you don't, you might just have to scrub a little bit. Alright, we're halfway through. And if some of them look too full, you can just take a spoon and scoop that out. But I like big, big cupcakes. And you can also do this very same thing with miniature cupcakes. if you have a lot of people you want to feed or throwing a party, then that is the perfect thing to grab. All right, we're down to 3. My favorite part of it is putting it in the oven, which I didn't tell you, but be sure that you preheat, otherwise you're just going to be hanging around for another 10 minutes waiting on your oven to get hot. And I recommend that you follow the instructions on your box about how long to bake them. I've learned that 15 minutes is absolutely perfect for my oven, but everybody's oven is totally different. So I would check them after 10. Alright, it's time to go in the oven. It's getting hot, so be very careful. And if you need to ask a parent to do this for you, that is totally fine. And then we will wait about 15 minutes and we'll come back for our yummy cupcakes. I'll see you in a few. Alright, a good cue when your cakes are getting close to being done, you will smell them and they will drive you crazy. But I do believe our cupcakes are ready. Now, if you don't know for sure, you can put a toothpick in, and when you pull it out, if it's clean, they're great. But if it comes out gooey, then you definitely have batter that still needs to be baked, so I would pop them in for a little while. But we can't put icing on these right now because it would just melt into a puddle. So I'd let them cool for at least 30 minutes, possibly an hour. So we're going to step away and let these do their thing, and then we'll come back and decorate. Alright, our cupcake is cool and it is ready to be decorated. Now you will need some kind of assistance in decorating this cupcake. The easiest thing I recommend you doing is going just to buy one of these little pre-kits. I actually got this one at Food City for under $5 and it comes with all kinds of really fun ends on it. But if you don't want to do that, it's okay. Just get you a Ziploc bag and you're going to cut just a teeny tiny bit of that corner off. And then you're going to squish your icing down in it and twist it, and you have your own icing bag. And you can do the same thing that I'm doing with this with the Ziploc bag, and then you can just throw it away and you don't have to clean it up afterwards. That is the glory of using the Ziploc bag. As always, make sure your hands are nice and clean before you start handling stuff again. And we're using just plain vanilla frosting. So when you put it in your bag, you're going to make sure you push it all the way down to the bottom. Scrape it off your spoon. I think we need a little more frosting. That's the best part of the cupcake. And again, if you like using a Ziploc bag, it'll be the same thing. Just make sure you seal it before you do that. Because the first time I did it, I didn't seal it, and I squirted icing all over my kitchen. Alright, we'll push it down the bottom. And twist it so you don't poke it out the top. And I'm just going to, I like to hold mine because I like to be a little closer. I'm just going to make a big swirl. Now you'll probably have air bubbles because I had one there that just messed it up. But it's your cupcake and you can do it any way you want. That's the beauty of it. We're just going to swirl it right on top. If you want to fill in any spots that might be showing. And don't worry if it doesn't look perfect the way you want it to, because we're going to fix that. This is our tombstone. So we're going to just stick it down right inside there so it doesn't fall over. And I'm going to have a little fun. You can take an Oreo, that is our tombstone, if you want to make it look like some dirts around there, some chunks. And you can even dye this white. You can dye it green if you want to make it look like grass. But today I just decided to make it fun looking. Now, still doesn't look like a tombstone. That's where our handy dandy icing comes into play. These are already pre-filled and pre-done, so all you have to do is draw with them. Now you can use brown, you can use red, you can use white. I had brown because it makes me think of dirt. So, we are going to get our icing to squeeze out of the bottom. And sometimes you have to give them just a little head start because that one was watery. I said brown, but we're using white. And I'm just going to put R. And if you're a little squiggly in it, that's okay. It makes it look spooky. And then I'm going to put I. And our last letter, P. And the same way we did the icing with that, you can use your Ziploc bag to make your tombstone cake. And any leftover pieces you get to eat. Well, that's our tombstone cake. And you can decorate as many of them as you want or just crush up Oreos and say, here you go. So I think I'm going to take a bite out of this. But I'll see you next time on our scary sweets.